thinking about something recently, and you may be interested in this. I like to share things that I think you too may be interested in. You just never know. And it's all based, or how should I describe this? Everything that I'm going to share with you is based on my experience as what I call the little chocolate fly on the wall. So let's start off, okay? I worked as a receptionist, okay? I had this job. It was a temp assignment years ago. And I'm going to be braiding my hair while we're talking. It was a temp assignment years ago. And, I would say, my gosh, maybe 2000. And I didn't even understand what I was doing. I thought I was going to be a receptionist in an office, in an ordinary office somewhere. Guess where I was? I was at an outplacement. No. Let me just rephrase that. A privately owned outplacement consulting group. I had no clue the world God had plunged me in. So, what happened was I took a position, right, as this little fly on the wall, and I noticed that the men who came in were dressed in suits, right? And I noticed immediately that everybody who worked there, they were kind of dressed they were kind of dressed kind of upscale. And I was thinking, wow, this is interesting. Why is everyone dressed in suits? I didn't understand. I thought, okay, you're just going to some office, you're just going to be answering the phones. I had no idea the environment I was plunged into. So, all executives, but they seem to be a little bit lost. Well, as it turns out, I hi Tristan, happy birthday! Tristan, happy birthday. As it turns out, I was in a privately owned, hi everyone, hi Maya and John. I was in a privately owned outplacement consulting group for executives only. Had no clue at all. I'm a grandma. I had no idea. So what happened was I was the only black woman there too. So I was insecure in those days. I was a little insecure. And hello. And I would see these men coming in, right? Young men, middle-aged men, old men, it didn't matter. And they would come in, and I never noticed something. It took me about 3 months before I realized, I'm braiding my hair, as you can tell. It took me about 3 months before I realized where I was. You guys, I was the only little temp answering the phones. These people were having their spears, masks, their bounty from their safari trips. And I was thinking, who are these people? Thank you. I realized these were senior level executives. And here I am answering the phones. I was so clueless. Little brown girl from the poor neighborhood. And I noticed something. Took me a while. When I would come in, they said, we're going to give you the key to the office, and your job is to open the office every day. So what I would do was hello. I would unlock the office. But when I got off the elevator, it was so shocking. 4 at least, no less than 2. The average was 4. Men would be standing outside the office door. the office didn't open until 8, and there I was early in the morning, 7:30, 7:45, something like that, okay? And I would say, "Good morning, gentlemen. Wow, you guys are up bright and early." Didn't catch on. I had no clue what was going on. I'd go in. They would say, "Hey, Dee, I'm heading to the coffee area or coffee room, the break room or whatever. Do you want a cup of coffee?" And I thought, "Oh no, thank you very much, Mr. So and So and Mr. So and So." Right? Well, it took a little while before I realized these were, you guys, when I tell you I didn't know, I had never been exposed to this kind of life. I had no idea what was going on. It took me a while. Oh, this is so powerful. Hold on. Hope I don't start crying. I actually was around presidents, CEOs, COOs, and CFOs of corporations. And I had never been in that environment, so I didn't know. This is what I learned. And I can't say names because I'm scared. I don't want to do that. But if you think of a huge conglomerate, okay, so let me just tell you what they did. So this will make some sense. It was a privately owned outplacement consulting group. And if you know what outplacement is, let's say for instance, just for instance, Dr. Pepper takes over, there's a hostile takeover, Pepsi. I don't even know if that's a thing now. But that's what it was then. And the men who were seniors had no place to go, right? They were now out of a job. Well, this company was a private company, and they would go to, when there was transitioning going on in different companies, they would go in and offer a package. You guys, it's very common now, but I'm telling you, it was not then. So, okay, it was a very beautiful area of Dallas. I wonder if I can say the area. Highland Park. If you know anything about Highland Park, Dallas, that's where I worked. Remember, I'm nobody. I'm a temp who was there to just simply answer the phones. Well, by the grace of God, before I knew it, they hired me, right? I still answered the phones, but I was moving up slowly to administrator, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I picked up on something. This is what it's like when you've never been in this kind of environment and you're learning, but you don't realize you're learning something. Guys, so there would be a little hush, like they would have staff meetings. I wasn't allowed in there, but there would be this little buzz ever so often. Thank you. Thank you, so sweet. There would be this little kind of buzz ever so often, maybe once a month. They would say, "Oh, a chairman is coming. A chairman is coming." And they would get these offices ready, and the library, which I was in charge of keeping everything up to date. It was a beautiful library they had. And they had this entire floor. I realized what they were saying was the senior executives and presidents of corporations had just lost their job. And they were coming into this business that I worked for as a temp, answering phones, because they were going to restructure their portfolios. You guys, a few of them, I don't even know if their wives and kids even knew that they were no longer working. That's another story for another day. Anyway, I realized that something very, if you're not, if you've never been exposed to it, you wouldn't notice it. It would take you a while. And this is what I saw. Old money has a different way of carrying itself. New money is very different. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience. That's why I'm trying to be very careful with my words. Old money, one braid down, old money was very courteous, very, thank you, Mark, very courteous, very dignified, very kind. And they were usually the chairman or the presidents of their corporations. They would greet me in the mornings. They would offer to give me a cup of coffee. They were just real classy men. I don't know how else to say it. Oh my goodness. Great memories. This is wait till I tell you the rest of this story. Okay. New money And if I threw out a name, you guys would freak out. So I can't. But let me tell you, old billionaires are very, very kind. Someone says, say the company. Let's just say, how can I put this? Let's just say, think about your cruise ships and think about your sports team owners. Think about those kind of people, okay? And as high as you can go. But the good thing about it was this is a long time ago. This is probably, oh my goodness, 2000s maybe, 99, 20, 2000, 2001. Okay, you got me, Sasso. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But anyway, so yeah. So just think about corporations like that. Those men, the young ones, the new ones, they'd come in. I'd show them their office, their private office. They were given a private office, depending on the level. Some men were given an office number. Chairmen they were given the creme de la creme treatment. Guys, I'm going to confess something. I didn't know anything. I'm still learning, right? I didn't understand stocks. I didn't understand bonds. I didn't understand wealth. I didn't understand anything. I'm just a kid from the poor neighborhood. And and it was old money that would spend a little time at my desk and answer a few questions. And when I tell you these questions were kindergarten level, like what is a stock? What is the stock market? How does it work? I didn't realize what the situation God had put me in, right? Okay. There was one man, and wait till I show you something. I think I'm going to cry. Thank you, Pooh. Oh, I'm trying to braid my hair. I just got out of surgery. I just had a hysterectomy, the one where they just completely slice you, the abdominal. And so I'm home and I'm resting. And I thought, well, just do your hair because I need something that's really easy. This is my own hair here. And I am trying to take bits of it and add braids. So I am so slow. Grandmas are slow. So, but thank you. That's so nice of you. Okay. New money. Thank you. It's a combination. It's a, thank you for that. It's gray. I mixed the color. That's gray hair. This is a little hint of brown. And definitely a lot of the number 60, which is snow white, right? Because there's certain areas where I'm really, really white. And then just a tiny hint of the honey blonde. And that's what I'm doing. And if you, and the back is a little bit darker, I'm trying to, whatever. I'm trying. And I'm going to cut it for sure. 60-year-old grandmas don't wear their hair like this typically. So I'm going to cut it to like maybe here. But thank you. I don't want to get off the story. I would walk past an office of a young executive who just lost his position. He would be sitting at the desk. This is the truth, guys. I'm glad I don't remember their names anymore, except for a few. And I would walk past their desk. Thank you so much. And they would be leaning back, feet propped up. And as I passed by, and I said, "Yes, sir. Can I help you? Can you get me some coffee?" While they were on the phone. "Oh, sure, no problem." Now, can I speak any Ebonics? You know good and well that was not part of my job description. But I was no fool. I knew that I was in an unusual opportunity in my life. Well, let me start another section here. Well, I started pondering, what is wealth? How does it work? And what do these guys do? And and how could a little person from the worst neighborhood, learn and become, and where do you start when you've never had anything like that in your life, right? I barely got out of high school, right? I took a few college classes. Anyway, so I started asking the gentlemen who were standing by the door when I would come to the office in the morning to unlock the door. Those men were older. Now I'm an old woman. They were the old ones. And they would be there before the office opened. And I was thinking, why? Okay, so if you can see my hair, you see that? That's all gray. My hair is kind of brownish black, and so what I'm trying to do is find a color that can kind of go with both. So this is a blend of all those colors I showed you. Anyway, there was one man. Let me get it together here. He would spend a little more time with me at the desk. And I would say, he says, well, what about your grandfather? And I was thinking, my grandfather? Oh, I don't know. And he would say, well, what about your great grandfather? My great grandfather was a sharecropper, so that's right after slavery. So I hadn't been exposed to anything or taught anything. And so he would spend a little time and answer a few questions. But he knew that I knew. Oh, thank you, Nia. Anyway, and I can only see you guys as I'm having my glasses on. Anyway, I was so privileged and didn't know it. Where did I do with that little piece? Where is it? Oh, I gotta start again. Anyway, he said, because I was there from 99 to 2001 before they sold the company. He said, you don't know much about financial planning or anything. And I said, no, sir, I don't. But he spent time with me. This man tried to answer questions and help me. They would fly in a chairman. I'm all over the place. Let me calm down. They would fly in a chairman, and this man would be there to meet with them. So he would come to the office certain times of the year when a chairman was arriving, and he would meet with them. And basically, he was just helping them restructure their portfolios, right? Okay. I noticed a lot of them, when they retired or got, whatever, they were buying companies left and right. It was like they were waiting for their chance to finally do what they love to do. These men were so classy, so elegant, so poised, so dignified, so kind. Anyway, the new money. Hey, D, my name is D. You see my page, my channel. Hey, D, can you this, can you that? Yes, sir, sure. I did it. But I learned something. You don't have to be, how can I say this? There's something that comes with working hard for what you want. When you work for what you want, when you work your way to the top, there's something, there's a humility that comes with that. Money cannot buy it. Money cannot buy that. And these older men had it. I didn't know what it was at the time, you guys. I had no idea. But these older men had it. Anyway, so let me start this one. I got to figure out what to do with all this. Ugh. I'm such a grandma. I'm a little grandma. Anyway, these old men had it. And one of them spent time with me. Well, after a while, they sold the company. I didn't see him for many years. One day, I couldn't shake it. I was praying and I was thinking, I wonder how he's doing. 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 If he'd even remember me. And it was such a burning in me that I finally looked him up and Googled him and found he still had his office. And I called his office because I couldn't shake thinking about him. Well, when I called his office, he remembered me, little chocolate grandma D. And he remembered me. And he said, oh, D, I remember you. I said, you remember me? His name is Kent, Kent Bicknell. And he was the financial planner for the ultra wealthy. And he was the nice man who would sit by the receptionist desk and try to help the little receptionist, me, understand money. Well, like I said, I called him and he said, I want to tell you something. He told me, he said, I realized that there was a gap in America because it was so little that you knew. He said, and I realized that there was something that had to be done. He never told me this, you guys, until this was years later. He said, I went all over Dallas and I was trying to find books that would help somebody start from nothing and begin to understand the world of wealth. He said, I couldn't find anything. He said, and you talked about your family and your history. I said, yeah, you remember that? He said, yes. He said he drove from wherever he lived. I don't know where he lived, but he drove to Potter's house, to T.D. Jakes' church. And he said he went to their bookstore. And I'm like, what? He said, and I couldn't find a book that could really get you started. And he said, oh no, is my hair tangling? Ugh. He said, and one day, he said his son said to him, Dad, just write a book. Just write a book. Hold on. I can't believe this. Kent Bicknell wrote a book called Wealth is a Way of Life That Leads to Prosperity. You know, I cried, don't you? I cried. Well, I read the book. It's interesting. And guys, YouTube is new. This is all new to me. I just started YouTube maybe a month and a month and 1 week ago. Like, this is brand new. People keep saying the old people need to get on YouTube. And I thought, why? Nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to hear our opinions on life. Well, I'm surprised people are interested. Thank you. Oh my goodness, what a nice person you are. And don't laugh, guys, but I'm going to show you something that I'm doing. Commercial break. Hold on. Ah. This is called hair tinsel. And because I'm a little old gray-haired grandma, I'm adding a little sparkle to my braids. How fun is that? You got to have fun, guys, right? It's so thin and super fine. You don't really notice it. It just adds, because gray hair can be really dull. So that's what I'm doing. Ha ha ha. Anyway, Kent Bicknell, sweetest, kindest man. He wrote a book. He said, Dee, I wondered what happened to you. He said, and I wrote a book. I said, you did. So guys, uh-oh, I got a snag here. And he said, I wrote a book. Now, guys, the book, I've been looking at it. Just recently, I kind of rearranged some things in the house, and I found the book again. I thought, oh my goodness, here's that book. Well, I put it on the shelf in my bedroom, and I've been staring at it. Why? Because I've been home recuperating from a hysterectomy. So I'm looking at that book, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I forgot about that book. Oh yeah, that's that book from way back when I worked with that company, blah, blah, blah. And I picked it up today. And I thought, does anybody out here care about something like this? So that's why I'm on today. Number one, if you're on your way to wealth, and I know that many are doing this YouTube thing, but if you're on your way, I want you to know something. Please, please don't forget kindness. Please don't forget when you're at a restaurant, take an extra second to talk to the waitress. Say thank you to everyone. And maybe you're already doing that. Please, I mean, if you're doing that, forgive me. But take a little moment, you know. The janitor, when you go into a building, you have something, a very important meeting, take a moment. It's going to make a huge difference. And you're storing up treasures in heaven. The moth can't eat it, and the rust can't wear it out. And so Kent Bicknell wrote a book. Now, this book, it's entitled Wealth. Oh, hold on. Okay, welcome to gray hair. Wealth, a way of life that leads to. I put the link in there. Somebody may be interested. Anyways, wealth, a way of life that leads to prosperity. And there's questions in this book. And he said, I was thinking about things that may be interesting to you that would probably help you. Guys, the book has like a worksheet, kind of like it in the back. And I'm going to say something. If reading's a little challenging for you, you probably won't enjoy this book. It's even a tad bit over my head. It's a heavy read. It's meat, you know, it's not milk. So you've got to really be interested in your financial future. But can you believe the life that I've lived? The wonderful doors have been opened and opportunities. And here I am now. Back then I was a young woman. Now I'm an old woman. And these memories are coming back for a reason, right? This book has questions. Let me just say, I dog eared a few little things. And this is kind of tough because if you can't handle YouTube, which I'm learning hardcore, this is going to be tough for you. Life planning declarations, life planning commitments. Um, Ask yourself, who am I? Well, who do I want to be? What do I want to see myself doing? There's some stuff, and then there's questions that you should ask people who know you, and they have to be honest with you. Mm, I haven't done that part yet. And you remember when I said this was 2000? I didn't understand it. It was still over my head. Well, I've been thinking about him lately since I cleaned up my bookshelf and all that all these years later. And I wondered about him. He died, guys. We've had so much greatness on this earth. And now I'm going to get all mushy. Such a blessing to know him. Anyway, I love you all. I just wanted to say that there is a distinct difference that even a little woman answering the phones can see if she watches for a while, and that is old money is better than young money or new money. Old wealth, the people who walk with old wealth, not all of them. I know we've got crazy people. I understand that in the world. But in general, there's something very elegant, dignified, respectful, honorable, kind, thoughtful about old money. And if you come into wealth, you yourself come into wealth, remember that, okay? It will open up other doors. That's all I have to say. Thank you all for joining me. This is my fourth live. Okay, that's my live dance. And so I just want to share that with you. If it may help you. Um, Aw, oh, he's so sweet. Mark Goodyear. Oh, thank you. You guys have a wonderful night. Um, I always pause at the end, don't I? I find myself pausing because there's so much that you can say. I realize that there's a lot that you can share with people. And I'm going to get real with you. Every time I ask God to show himself to me, he does. I'll say, Jesus, what does this mean? And at night, I'm listening to the Bible on audio, and it just plays throughout the night. You're asleep, but your spirit never sleeps. Your spirit never sleeps. And I'll wake up at the right time, and there's an answer from the Word of God. If you have a question, ask God. He's so real. Just say, Jesus, guide me and lead me. I've seen blind eyes opened. I've seen, oh my gosh, simple miracles. Miracles can actually be simple. Don't let this YouTube life change you, you know? Don't let it change you. It's hard. Oh my goodness, the pressure is intense. Scrolling, just the act of scrolling. But know who you are and choose the better thing, you know? Choose it. Choose the better thing. I've had horrible things happen to me. I'm married to a white man. You know, my life has been filled with challenge. We experience bad experiences the minute we walk outside the door, running an errand at the grocery store. So, but just remember who you are. And you know, guys, I'm an old lady. We grew up hearing the golden rule: do and oh gosh, I'm gonna misquote the gold. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That really applies, guys. Let's not let's not turn into those people. Do you know what I mean? Um, Hold on to what's good and what's right. Clarita, I said to Clarita, every time I see you, I go into a baby voice. That's a lot of love. When I see you, I go, I love you so much. But anyway, just remember that, okay? Yes, Sasso. Thank you so much. You take care. I'm gonna hang up too. I mean, whatever you call it for you too. But I love you guys. Take care, okay? Bye bye. Aw, that's so sweet. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes.